Hi, everybody. Okay, this is at about 10 after 11 that I'm beginning this on May 24th. And as you can tell, I have crafting area again. Um, it's not perfect in here yet, but I really wanted to get these done as part of my woodland creatures. The reason why you're seeing this is because this is the toe system usually of a tree frog, not a pond frog, but some pond frogs do have that too. I'm going to treat this as a frog that's in a pond in the woods, kind of a swampy area. And so we're just going to go with it as that. I have some green neon fluorescent, and then that's going to go into the eyes. As you can tell, I also have the keychain version of this. And I have discovered that these are not glossy molds. However, the parts of the frog is glossy. So that will work. And yes, I will be doing 2 keychains. As you can tell also, I now have decided that my little turntable is for this purpose, to be able to move it around as I need to do the powders and things like that and be able to see them better. And for right now, I'm just trying to figure out that eye system there. I do need a black mica because there are nostrils on this frog, which are, oh my gosh, right there. One there, and, well, can't really see the other side. One right there. So I want to get the nostrils done, and I do want them dark. Now, the frog eye is a little strange to me, but that's frogs. So this is the pupil, and then around it there's the iris side of it. So the pupils are going to be black. The irises, green. Well, I don't know, maybe even yellow. I'm not really sure yet. I think I'll do them yellow because I also have a neon yellow. So I think that's what we'll do. Now, as far as the black goes, I don't think I'm really going to do that in black. I have that awesome red shift that I bought quite some time ago last year, and I'm going to go ahead and do that into the pupils. Possibly the nostrils, I'm not too sure yet. But I have to get those main things done so that when I'm dusting the rest of the frog, it will have, it won't overpower the rest of this. So what I'm going to do now, excuse the frog in my throat, everyone, it's always there and present, is I'm going to put my mask on. And I do that because if you've ever noticed when people are talking and they're doing their mica powders or their glitters or are mixing their resin and such, their voice, this is my normal voice, and this is what I sound like with my mask on, and it's on properly. So as you can tell, it's a little bit more muffled. So for those people that are not disclosing that they're not wearing a mask, that's dangerous for people that are watching. Just bringing that out into the open because I worry about people that are just starting into this, and I don't want to see them injure their lungs because as a sufferer of COPD myself, your lungs are important, and these particles do not dissolve in your lungs and go away. So you have to be very careful of that. And very recently, I was in a Facebook group where the woman showed her face. And it's because she had been mixing her epoxy resin. She had been doing it all the time without a respirator or mask on. And the same resin all the time. However, she hadn't realized it, but she was developing an allergy to it, an intolerance for resin. And her face swelled up, and her eyes were almost swollen shut, and she was blotchy faced. And so you must understand that even though you've done it 1,000 times before, it can still affect you if you're not wearing a respirator or a mask, and you inhale those fumes in. So please, please think about making sure that you use your proper PPE, which is for personal protection equipment. And that includes gloves. And I know it's cumbersome. I do. Because it's hard for me to breathe in these masks. But I do so because I don't want to end up not being able to breathe at all. So I'm going to throw on some gloves, stop with the lecture. It's not really a lecture. I really care about people. And I don't want to see anybody have the difficulties I do. Alright, so I'm going to grab a pair of gloves here, because even the mica powders can cause an allergy reaction, and glitters that can as well. You never know when something is going to be made out of different product, and yet still come in the same packaging. So you just have to be a little bit mindful that you don't want to have respiratory issues, or take your chances on whether you're going to have an allergic reaction skin-wise or breathing-wise. All right. Gloves are on. Mask is on. So let's get this one opened. And unfortunately, yes, I ran out of the other last year. So I just push it down right about there. Try to get up underneath it. Push it off there. Of course, you should not do this over your project, because eventually you're going to dump something in there. Let me grab some baby wipes here, because I just got it on my glove. And I don't want to spread it into my mold, or I don't want it. So here we go. And yes, there's a lot of powder that gets stuck to that upper lid there. Every time I put a mask on, my respirator sounds like, Luke, I am your father. But it's more my breathing that sounds like that. Okay. Might have to use a different utensil for getting down into that eye. So let me clean that brush off real fast. and switch over to a micro brush. I don't like using them because, yes, they can scratch a mold. But sometimes areas need them. I just don't try to press very hard with them. Alright, so I got the eyes, or the pupil area. Now I'm going to try to use the micro brush to clean up some of that mess. See if I can get the rest of this scraped down into there, so I'm not losing some of that product. Those things aren't exactly cheap with such little product that you get. Okay, that's done. And unfortunately, I did lose some on the mat. I think I forgot to turn off the AI and it's doing its thing. So I'm going to wipe the brush, get it dampened a little bit with the baby wipe. And let's get up what I can real quick. And of course, there is such thing as static. And it drives me nuts because it spreads it when you don't want it. But that area is a lot easier to clean than some of these other areas. Okay, so now we just take the baby wipe and take off that. Let's spread around, go through the larger part of the eye there. I'm just using the tip of my thumbnail there. It's kind of awesome being able to use this turntable to do this. Alright, I'm going to close that lid up real fast on that little powder here. And this is a nail powder. It's what it was sold as. But it works beautifully on everything. Oops, I did not get that lid on properly. There we go. Ooh, my cat's going to make noise tonight. If you hear her, just ignore. She's in heat right now, and she's talking to the cat that's outside. Does it drive me crazy at times? Oh, yes, it does. Okay. So now we want to get the yellow, so I'll grab another micro brush for that. I always try to tap it down away from the top there. Okay. And I'm going to try to push this over just a little bit again. Move these two out of the way. Now this isn't actually mica powder. This is a grainy substance of powder. And it doesn't normally stick very well. And that, folks, is why we do the lower objects first. If you just saw that when I hit a speed bump here somewhere. And there's just a little bit of that eye for this, because it's on the opposite side. So it's away from perspective. Okay. I don't think I can get that talented with these little ones, so I'm going to go ahead and just make the eye yellow there. And there, by the way, that's very thin right there at that eye. Extremely thin. Okay, got the yellow done. Now to just put this down out of the way. Close this up. Yes, I do try very, 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 very hard to do what I can. Oh my goodness. That's really on there. There we go. And as you can tell, I've opened it before. So I guess I had some Herculean strength on closing it. Well, I was going to plan on doing the whole frog in this green, but then I thought, well, I have a green and gold, green to gold shift and a gold and green shift here of some sort. Can't really tell. It's got some green to it. So I'm going to do the main body of the frog with that. The leaf is going to be that. And this is just going to be for a little bit of toes. I guess I will clean this up before I go on. Try to get it where my hand's not in the way of me even. Okay, down to these toes. I'll clean that one out a little bit better. Now, of course, this won't be finished in time to upload for 6 a.m. like I normally do, because I've started so late. Or I could put my heat mat down and have it done in 2 hours. But I do need sleep as well. I have been cheating myself out of sleep for a little bit here. And I finally broke down a little bit and stopped I usually sleep 2 to 2.5 hours because, well, I'm old and I have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night all the time. I can't get away from it. It's driving me crazy. But that's what happens when we age. Things in our body don't work the same they used to. When I get done doing this, I will tap the powder out so that any leftover powder doesn't need to be cleaned up so much and doesn't float around when I actually pour resin. Okay, Froggy is done. Except I think what I'm going to do is there's a little area here I did not get with the color shift mica here. So I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit of green to those eyes. Okay. Well, that part's done. Can't forget the toes on this guy. I'm not going to go ahead and do both of these. Only because this really is time consuming. Especially when you don't see very well. There's a toe there, toe here, and I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be another toe there, right? Yes, I think so. I think maybe. That's it. Then we have toes on this foot. Toe there. And toe here. Okay. Next foot. There's toe. Here's toe. Everywhere toe, toe, oh McDonald. Okay. Maybe I'm getting that hypoxia stuff, you know, when you're like out of oxygen. Maybe that's why I'm starting to get goofy. Or it could be that it's now 11:30. But I really wanted to get this project done because I have other things I'm wanting to do. I do have Memorial Day coming up, and I'm probably not going to be able to get a project out for that. And that is upsetting to me. Oh, crud. Go ahead and put some more yellow in that eyeball. Although it is looking kind of mean that way, isn't it? There we go. I dipped down too far. Okay. I'm just going to try the top here again. Like into instead of away from, right? Okay, let me go ahead and pop the rest of that yellow out that I see. Hey, I didn't even spread that much around. So let's go ahead and get the rest of that out. It wasn't just the red that, or the yellow that was loose, and the green, it was the red too. Okay, frog is ready for the main, except I'm going to let that dry right now so I'm not pasting it on there. So I'm going to go ahead and pause you for a second. Besides that, it's potty time. Yeesh. Okay, this is actually, 13 hours later. It is now 12:37 a.m. on May 25th. I got back to this now because, well, when I got up to go answer nature's call, kind of got tired sitting there. And then, well, I came back here, opened up the door to my room, and didn't get past my bed. I just kind of made a U-turn and right over into it. So I've had some sleep, ended up watching some more YouTube videos from other creators, and yeah, okay, I'm back to this now. Okay, so now that I'm mostly awake, let's get this going. Remember, try not to open over your project. At least not in areas you don't want done. Okay. I do not know what the names of these colors are because they came off of Temu and they are not named. Of course, once I get this all powdered in, I will be mixing the resin off camera. If you're new to my channel, many of my videos earlier show you how to resin or to brush the powders on, mix the resin, and what not to do, what to do, etc. So please consider that. That maybe just look for those. I don't have links to them right now because I haven't written down a list of them yet so that I can refer back to them the correct way by linking them. All I can tell you is that I have covered the whole thing from start to finish. Now I'm not getting up in the green just yet because I want to make sure, I have the body covered first. Now I'll probably have this set for 6 a.m. tomorrow morning on the 27th. And yes, the brush I'm using is just an actual makeup brush. I find those to be the better ones. And right now I'm trying to find a bunch of this style here all by itself instead of in a kit with other styles of brushes. But so far I've had no luck at doing that. As far as his nostrils go, the one here and the one there, I don't even know if that second nostril's placed properly, but I think it is. But I don't even know where I was going with that. So I guess I'm not quite awake like I thought I was. I might remember, I might not. Oh, well, if I was talking about these brushes, yeah, it's very difficult to find the styles you want as a separate thing. And that's what I'm looking to do. So right now, since I had to purchase this in a kit, I have a lot of brushes I don't use. Even when I wore makeup ages and ages and ages ago, um, I never used that many brushes. As a matter of fact, most of it was just those little foam tipped wands that they have, which I also like to use on these because they are soft, which means it's gentle on your mold. Almost have the main body done so I can finish off the toes. And then, of course, I'll just take a baby wipe and clean up the edges so I can do the leaf. And I just saw myself dump some down on the mold. Alright, just one more foot to go. Okay, I might be ready to rumble here. I'm going to clean up the edges real fast, and then I'll get to the leaf. Okay, clean up my sponge. I always do like these switching sponges. I had one sent to me from a subscriber, Queen Maleficent, and I do appreciate it very much. That one is right here. Uh, I guess she'd gotten it at like a Dollar Tree or something like that. Price that I don't have available to me. Now, when the person I am moving here with me gets here, she's going to get very shell-shocked about how little is around and available. But I'm sure she'll enjoy the quiet. Although where she's living at right now, she has that. Gotta get another pack out soon. But we do have larger towns that are about 3 hours away. So I haven't been out of this town here for, oh my gosh, way too long. I haven't been out shopping in forever. But there are ways to go shopping. We don't have a Walmart. All we have here, we don't even have a department store any longer. We have, instead, we do have a one grocery store. The other one closed down a couple years ago or so, sold out to a large chain, and now they've turned that into a truck stop because we are kind of a pass-through situation for tourists and deliveries and all that. Okay, looks like I got that book pretty well. This one's not so great yet. Now, of course, you can always put me on ×2 if I'm getting too long on this. And I might speed it up a little so that it's not as long when you first start. Right now I have 38 minutes. And today I'm not talkative a whole lot. And I'm sure a lot of you appreciate that. And no, I don't do that music, filling in and all that. I mean, I can, but really, if you understood the length of time it takes to do that kind of editing, you would understand why a lot of creators have issues with doing that, because some people have lives and I don't. But I don't feel well half the time. But I think that's my own fault for a lot, because I don't get up and I don't get out of the house. But mostly because I can't breathe well. So I just stick at home. It's easier for me. However, maybe easier, it's not always better. Okay, the body of the frog, done. Except for some I've seen I missed back there. One moment. Probably didn't even need to get that in there. And yes, as you can tell, mica powders float. Oh, sorry about that. That was the text coming in. Yeah, I'll see where I missed cleanup there. Alright, I think I got it now. Except for that area that I wiped off, apparently. Okay. I think I should have had lunch before coming back to this. My stomach's going to start growling. Alright, get this back cleaned up. Alright, make sure I don't get some of this cleaned up so that I don't get it all over. Excuse me. And of course I will dump it out after the leaf is done. Okay. You know what I did? I forgot the other frog. I'll go back to it after I get the leaf. Yeah, it looks like I'm definitely going to have to speed this one up. And I don't think I can because I don't have an editor on my computer. So, trying to speed it up might be impossible. I'd have to transfer it to one of my, either my phone or my tablet. And then from there, use my editor. And then I'd have to upload and share from there. But then you don't have all the bells and whistles that YouTube Studio has on the computer. And I don't understand that because, you know, you should be able to do the same things on each device you have. They might be a little worried, I guess, maybe, of space taking up and all that. But truthfully, a lot of people have those phones that have large storage. Of course, a lot more don't yet. Like my new phone has 1 terabyte of storage capability with external micro SD. But regardless that it has that, I can't use it really for video recording because it's the phone I get calls on. And there's nothing worse than getting a call or a text as you're trying to record. When I first started my prison journey, I was such a novice. I mean, I had watched a gazillion videos. I did. I watched video upon video upon video. And I pretty much, as soon as I turned on the camera, I forgot everything. I even forgot that I had written some of the stuff down so that I could remember it later. And I made some weird mistakes that I did start before I started recording videos. And a lot of the mistakes were done prior to being camera shy. And I am still kind of camera shy. More unsure, though, of what to do, how to proceed, etc. I think I've really messed up with that area of the frog. Hold on. I forgot to do this so that the gold isn't there. And there's some more gold right there. Okay. Almost got it. Alright, now I got it. I'll just fill in from up here until it dries a little bit. And yes, you do get a different look from when it's wet and when it's dry. So you also kind of get a different look if you're brushing on from different angles. I've learned from kindergarten to try coloring from one direction. Of course, for me, kindergarten, 1,000 years ago. My kids always told me I was older than dinosaurs and dirt. And that's fine, because that means I've lived a long life and have become wise. Sorry. Yeah, sure. Okay. I do miss my kids. And I do miss my younger sister. But life is what it is. It gives you what it wants to give you. And we just gotta deal with it. And don't let it crush us if it's bad. You know, because that's life. Huh. Guess my brush was quite wet still from hitting that area. So maybe I can get this now. There we go. I started watching a channel. I'll probably butcher the name because that's what I do. And I listened to him say the channel name basically, is the area or island at which he lives. Agena, Aegina, craft. And he's quite entertaining. He does use foul language sometimes, and that's okay by me, you know. Freedom of speech. I don't use that language much anymore, but I do still use it. It's just that I don't know. I'm old, and I've kind of calmed down in my life quite a bit. You know, I stopped drinking a couple 100,000 years ago. Stopped any kind of partying way before then. Yes, I was a person who drank without a party. And I had to quit, of course. It was my choice. I realized my life was going nowhere and downhill. So I guess it was going somewhere, right? Or maybe it was just as I matured, it didn't have that same appeal as when you're told you can't do something. That's why we have children that rebel. It's because that's human nature. All right, let's get back to the other one. I'm going to go ahead and move this one after I tap out the mica. All right, checking to make sure I've got all my avenues covered. It looks like I do. All right, let's get this last little one here done. Let's go with the frog first, of course. Maybe I'll grab my smaller brush to get down in there. Leave that one for the top. Can't be as delicate with the little frog because I don't see the details so easy. He is a little frog. And yes, if you've seen previous videos, I like frogs. And that came from one little itty bitty pewter frog that was a figurine to sit up on a shelf. And I absolutely, it was a gift from somebody I admired quite a bit. And I got the frog and a snowflake at the same time. And the snowflake, of course, was glass. And truthfully, it was at another time in my life when things were crap. And it meant the world to me. And the person, which I regret saying no, I do, but we have our, we have our morals we need to stick to, and even if it's not the best thing for us, but for others concerned, it is. But yeah, even though I actually did kind of fall in love with him, I had to say no because I was married, and I believed in the forever after, blah 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 blah. But my ex was abusive, and I thought, oh, he's gonna change. Ha ha ha. They don't change their spots. And I was with him for 13 years, married 11 and a half of those years. And, well, I just one day was told that by my doctor that, well, he gave me a prescription. He wrote it down and he said, go have your husband fill that out for you. And so I never looked at it. And when I handed it to him, he flew into a rage. I mean, a real rage, screaming at me and everything. And I knew what was to be coming because, well, that's the way he was. You either duck and run or you just don't live. Or you live very sore for a while. But on that piece of paper, that prescription, it said divorce. And I don't know what happened, but that emboldened me. And I said, well, I've got to fill the prescription out in order for me to get better. And, well, he agreed to the divorce. And I won't say without a problem, because he told me that, oh, don't worry, you won't divorce me. You'll be right back. And from the time I handed him that paper, that prescription with divorce on it, I never looked back. And it was the best thing I ever did in my life for myself and my children. You know, I came from old school where you stayed married no matter what because of the children. Well, I have found that you don't do that. You can ruin your children because your children, even though you might try to hide something, they will see and hear everything. And there are times when they'll either side with the aggressive person or they'll side with the abused one, or they say they can't stand what's going on and they'll never be like that, and they grow into it to be like that. And that's hardcore stuff, right? You just don't know how somebody's going to react. So it's best to take young, impressionable minds out of the equation and away from it. At least that's my experience. All right, I'm going to pause you again. No, I'm not going to take another nap. But I got to wait for everything to dry, except for this. Here, so I don't have to do that. Clean up again from all over the place, hopefully. I'm ready to go ahead. Let's get that green done. I do wish I could see better. I do. Honest. Those cataracts are annoying, and I can't wait until those eye drops I bought get here to try it out. If it works, then that'll be great. If not, well, I just have to start saving up for cataract surgery. Which may not be possible for a long time because I still have to get the hospital paid off for my last 2 visits at the ER. And if anybody has ever been sent a bill from a hospital, you know that things are hugely expensive. And so, yeah. It takes a while to pay all that off. And if you wonder about insurance, my actual hospital bill from both times together was less than my yearly deductible, which would have been $17,000 had I opted to have insurance. So if you take that $17,000 deductible and then you take your monthly premiums of what, $300 to $500 a month, and you add that all up at the end of the year, and yet say you don't see the doctor or go to the ER or anything for any purpose during that time, or if you do, and it's basically cheaper than the $17,000. You've also paid out that premium forever for them to keep telling you, no, we can't pay for anything until you hit that $17,000. And so they still collect all that hundreds every month from everybody while telling people, no, we can't help you because you haven't met your deductible yet. And that kind of is the same with car insurance, house insurance, etc. Although house insurance is important if you're still in a mortgage. But what if you drive, say, very short distances? Yes, accidents can happen in a very short distance. Yes, I agree. However, what if you never have a cause to use that insurance? You have just spent out for 30 or 40 or 50 years all that money, and they don't give you a dime back. Not much. Same thing with health insurance. If you don't use it, they don't give you a dime back. Instead, they charge you the premiums for pretty much everybody else being on insurance, and you're not using it. And, well, you're getting screwed, so you better go get sick. Well, after you have enough for your deductible. I think it's kind of a robbery, but, you know, we're told we have to do it. Big racket. Oh, I got political. Sorry, everybody. Anyway, it looks like I'm done with that. I'm done with the other. So I will go ahead and pause you now. And I will go ahead and get my resin mixed up, and I'll be back. Oh my gosh, I went over an hour. Rambling on. Okay, so let me put my frogs together over here, and I shall pause you. Now this is supposed to be under 4 ounces for the large frog. I'm not sure how much for the small one. There is nothing written on this frog at all for how much is there, but their image of it online at Timu is it shows that it's supposed to be 3.8 ounces for the big frog. Don't know how much on this, so I'm going to mix up 5 ounces, and if I have anything over, I have this. Alright, I'm going to mix up my resin, I'll get it poured, and I'll do that off the camera, so, you know, time's sake. But I am going to back this in black, okay? Both of them. Alright, be back soon. So before I began to mix the epoxy, I was notified that I had a package outside, so I went out to go retrieve it. And as you can see, It says Amazon. So, sorry, I'm a little out of breath. And that was just walking to the mailbox. Sad, isn't it? But that's why you really don't want to ruin your lungs. Mine wasn't from mica powders or glitter or anything like that. Mine was because I've been a smoker since I was 12 years old and I'm 63. All for the exception of one 6-month period when I had quit. And I do regret starting back up. But I don't want to make it worse. This is the last of that order. Finally arrived, and so this is that chain Taikiji mica powder. This is the lilac version. Doesn't say it on the outside. Well, maybe it does down here. Nope. However, I'll get to opening that real quick. Hey, that is one reason why I don't go many places, because the breathing is an issue. Oh. Now these I have found are pretty well packaged, and which is good because, you know, there's a little bit of damage on the corner there. And truthfully, I should have a mask on to open this in case the powder split open in there. There we go. I won't need the box. And luckily the powder is all intact. And this is that gorgeous color I was talking about. And when you put a little bit of white to it, it becomes the most beautiful pale purple. So, yeah, I'm really satisfied with getting these. And yes, 200 grams or 7.05 ounces. And all for $12. So, I have a lot of time ahead of me to be able to use these up. That's really only a lot of mica powder in there. All right, now that you got to see that, I need to find someplace to put it now. I'll just stick it on top of the other two, which I have in the corner. And so now I have the lilac, the orange, and the, oh my gosh. I want to say sky blue, but it's not. Silk blue. So, only like several more colors to go of that size. Alright, I'm going to pause it and get this mixed. Okay, I used my Fire Dots black, which is a pearl black. And as you can see, there are bubbles on top. I'm going to burn those off real fast. I have extra resin sitting to the side. I made 200 ml instead, so that I know I have absolutely plenty. Now, everybody has to remember, careful about dipping your stuff down in there. And if you think you did, make sure you wipe it just in case. I didn't, but I got close. Anyway, this cup is about 5 ounces, so right now I have about 75 ml left over in the big jug. Wow, that went fast, didn't it? I might have to pull some of that out even. And so that everything fills in properly, start, yeah, it's just going to slide down the side of the cup here. Start in one spot and let it go as slowly as you can. It'll fill in those little smaller sections. So in this cup I had 125 ml. Okay, it stopped going down the side of the cup. You see how it just crawls into those little areas? You allow it to do that so that you don't trap as many bubbles. Preferably none. Now 5 ounce is supposed to be 150 mil. Now, it said 3 point something ounces. I'm thinking the only 3 point whatever ounces was the weight of the mold, which isn't actually that because the mold is heavier than that. It's a really good thing I mixed up even more. Now, as I said, I'm using the fire dots. I mixed it up with alcohol, and it's drying out, of course, and that's what you want it to do. I mix it with alcohol so that it emulsifies that mica to keep it from flying away, number one, but also to make it smoother. So I'm going to get the rest of that into here. Set that to the side. See big bubbles problems there. That's fine. I'm just hoping the other 75 mil will cover this. Try to rinse that mica off with the epoxy. I'm just going to stir it into there with the spoon for now. And to make your cleanup just slightly easier, just take a paper towel or a napkin. This is the last of my napkins here. I'll be switching over to paper towels. Get the majority off first. And yes, just roll and put it in at the same time like that. Makes it easier cleanup. Okay. Fresh packs of baby wipes are such a pain, aren't they? Trying to get into it. I do have my heat mat under it now, and it is on. I'm at 1 hour and 15. So I know a lot of you all have lost already. If you're sticking with me to the end, you guys are awesome. Thank you. Mix well. I did not put it all in. Well, I might as well, because whatever's left isn't going to amount to much in something else. I love this measuring cup. However, I was concerned because it is not straight up and down. It is slightly widening as it goes from the bottom to the top. And I was worried that the measurements wouldn't be true. However, I did find out that they are. So I can now pour my resin into and hardener into this and come up with the proper amount of measurement. And okay, that's as much as I'm going to be able to really scrape out of it at this time. And the best part about it is this cup is silicone, therefore much easier to clean. And it's not wasteful on the environment. And the thing I'm going to do though is set it aside while I finish filling this up. Then I'll put you on pause until the rest of this has gotten its baking done. I am noticing that this mold is not level, so I'm trying to get it so that it won't overfill certain areas. Okay, should be close to getting this finished up. Oh, to be young again and be able to not do all the foolish things I've ever done, like smoking. Should never, never, never have followed the crowd. You better tell me I got enough out of this. Oh, come on. You're kidding me. Well, there's one thing I can do. Take from one and put in there, right? Yeah, I'm gonna have to do the old thing called rob Peter to pay Paul, and set a cup away. We're going to pick this little gem up. It's a little full anyway. Oops, see, that's the part I was afraid of doing. Ha ha! I got a majority into it. Oh, when life does not go your way, correct? Yay! But no crying over spilt milk. Just clean up the mess. And that seemed to have worked its magic that I was hoping for. It brought it up to the other side like it was supposed to. Let all that color transferred into it from the mica powders. It's going to be pointless trying to do this, but I will try to get just a little bit of that off of there. But I'm not going to keep trying with you here. I don't want to bore you to death. And this video is already long, so I might have to transfer it to my phone for processing. Well, see, look, see that stick is broken there, so unsalvageable. That's fine. And I don't really worry too much about most of the spillages because they flake off and they're good. But this one I will because it's a little thin. And because it's thin and they'll stick there now, it won't come up as easy, even though this is a silicone mat. Alright, something to do about those bubbles real fast. Now, this is a brand called Yob Top, Y-O-B-T-O-P, and this is my first time using it, so I'm hoping that it's good enough to work like it should. But only time will tell. Alright, I'm going to pause you, clean up the rest of this, get the bubbles popped. Oh, I don't like to do alcohol on these items because sometimes you can get what's known as an amine blush, and yeah, it kind of ruins the top of it a little bit. Normally, don't use a torch, not like a kitchen torch or something. You use just a long neck glider like this. I have to use it like this because my hands are so cruddy. And just slightly go over to pop bubbles. But if you're still having problems with any bubbles, I will do it for these two here. And you just spritz, spritz, and spritz. And my bottle's almost out. Not good, huh? Now that alcohol is going to make that loose mica dance. So, look, almost empty bottle. So time for a refill. All right, putting you on pause. See you in a couple hours. Okay, so time to get the video over. Let's do the little one first. They are still warm and a little bendy, but they are cured. But I want to make sure I don't pull that ring apart here. So I'm trying to release it as well as I can. Very gently. There we go. Okay. And there's the frog for the keychain. I do wish I could have gotten his eyes better. And I do see that there is a pupil right here on this side that maybe I could have gotten if I had better eyes, but not at this time. I did not get some of the gold, green gold, cleaned off from in there, but he's cute. Matte, but cute. And it's a keychain, so you know, when they get scratched up, it doesn't really matter because they will get scratched up. All right, let's go ahead and get the big guy out. And of course, I ended up with a hair in it because, you know, it's my house. Matter of fact, there's one there and one right there. I kind of like that little swirly look. It's got a divot right there. I don't really know what caused that. All right, let's see. And big frog. I did lose the yellow in there because of the black, I think. And see, it is still slightly bendy. You can actually push it upwards. That's why it'll lay on here flat until it finishes hardening. Okay, everyone. Sorry for the very lengthy video. I have been trying to make them a lot less lengthy, but today's wasn't, or you know, I don't want to have a 24-hour project going or video. So anyway, thank you all for watching. If you liked it or you have any questions, well, if you liked it, hit that thumbs up. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section. And, you know, if you have any suggestions or if you've seen one of my teeny hauls in a mold you'd like to see me do, please leave it in the comments and I will write them down in my little journal I'm creating so that I can get to them instead of forgetting to get to them and then having to go back and read all the comments over all of the videos I've ever had. But anyway, I want to thank you to all the viewers who sit through these videos of mine, okay? I know a lot of people are having, I don't know, I've never I've seen somebody that's been posting videos that are upwards of nearly 4 hours for crafting and haul combinations and such, and I can't sit through that length of a video, so I'm happy if you all just put this on double speed or any of my videos on double speed, and that'll of course cut the time in half, so this nearly hour and a half video will be like 45 minutes, and I might sound like a chipmunk, but you might be able to understand me most of the way through. I appreciate all my subscribers. I'm not the type of person to be religious or anything, but I feel really kind of blessed by all of you and by the caring community that I've come into. Okay, so I covered the 3 basics. Well, that was pretty rude, though, wasn't it? Sorry about that. And I really want to reiterate, I love all my subscribers and all of you that have been commenting and have been so kind. There's no other words for it, but thank you. And of course, share. And peace out.